All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I sent out a tweet today, earlier today, which you can actually follow me. I'll throw it down in the comment section. But all my socials, they're always in the bio to all my videos. So I sent out a tweet earlier today saying Christian Wood's last 10 games, get this, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2.5 assists with a block and 1.3 steals, and he's shooting 51% from the field, 44.3% from downtown, and 68% from the free throw line. So that brings his averages up to 18 points per game and 10 rebounds. He's shooting about 45.5% from the field, 37% from downtown, which is right on line with his career average, and then 62.3% from the free throw line. And that's kind of like the one part that I personally am not a fan of one bit, especially considering his career average is 67.4. So that's almost like 5 total ticks lower. Christian Wood has just been balling his ass off. I mean, it really has been since the incident against the Denver Nuggets where, I mean, I don't know really what happened that day. It was so weird. The Rockets just were off that whole game. Here was the thing, though. They were down at halftime 77-55. That's 22 points. In today's day and age, that's not really, it's obviously a big lead, but it's not like that's winning the basketball game. Maybe in like the 1960s, if you're down by 22 points, maybe then, and when there's not even like 3-pointers, you're thinking like, oh shoot, this sucks. But in today's fast-paced NBA era, 22 points is not shit, man. So Kevin Porter Jr. was told he wasn't playing in the second half, so he just dips out. That was all weird in its own sense, but he apologized. He came out and apologized. I think it was just a misunderstanding, and I'm hoping the Christian Wood situation was just another misunderstanding. I mean, it's really interesting because I don't know if like an apology ever came out, but once again, I'm not like expecting an apology because we weren't there. We don't really know the whole situation. So Christian Wood basically just apparently refused to check into the second half of the game. And, maybe that was, maybe honestly, he was backing up his brother, Kevin Porter Jr., and saying, if this dude's getting benched, what the hell are you guys doing? I'm not going out there. Why are you guys telling this guy, why are you telling him he's not coming out in the second half just because he's got a couple of turnovers? So, that situation was so weird in its own sense. But, right after that happened, we're all thinking, like, did Christian Wood just play his final game for the Houston Rockets? Did Kevin Porter Jr. just play the final game for the Houston Rockets? Now, the answer to both of those questions was probably not. Most likely not. But especially the Christian Wood situation where it's like prior to that altercation, there were 2 times in-game, mid-game, where the second one was with Jalen Green. I can't remember who the first guy was with, where he's just like visibly frustrated. It was almost like Kevin Love last season with the Cleveland Cavs, where he's not like sabotaging it, but he's not Christian Wood. It wasn't the Christian Wood that we like began to love last season. 20-10, put it in pen. So at the start of this year, I was very kind of like tough on Christian because I was, before any of this stuff even happened, I'm thinking, all right, well, Christian Wood wants to be the franchise player. He wants to be paid like a max contract player. All right, now enough time for talk. Go and prove me. Go and show it to me. If you can put up 20-10 this season, I will love you. I will love you forever, Christian. If you can go put 20-10 up for 2 straight seasons, I don't care that we're rebuilding. I don't give a damn. Christian Wood dropped 30-point double-double in his first ever game with the Houston Rockets. He can play no matter who's on the roster. Starts the season like terribly. He's like averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds. Not that that's bad, but just the statistics, the analytics were horrible, man. He was shooting like 30% from downtown. He was shooting like 40% from the field. He was shooting like 50% from the free throw line. There was a stretch where it was horrible. And it seemed like he was not having any accountability, and he was like kind of blaming other people. And then once that altercation happened with where he refused to sub into the game, what ends up happening is reports come out saying that the Houston Rockets young players have not been a fan with Christian Wood's leadership, and that they made that clear to him. So ever since that ever since that situation, Christian Wood has taken command of what's going on right now. And I think a lot of us were thinking Christian Wood 100% was going to get traded, 95% was going to get traded by the deadline because of those antics. Well, recently he's playing like the guy I want him to be like. This is the guy that we're kind of used to from last season. And once again, I don't have an issue paying Christian Wood. I don't have an issue Christian Wood being on my basketball team for the long term. I don't care that he's 26 years old and all of our rookies are 19 and 20. I don't really care, because Christian Wood's probably the best player on the Rockets. But if he could put up 20 and 10, I would love for the Rockets to hold on to him. And that's what he's been averaging in the last 10 games. What kind of sucks right now is that trade deadline's in 1 week. Literally 7 exact days is when the trade deadline is here. So the Rockets are kind of at this situation where it's like, all right, do we trade Christian Wood? Do we keep him? Do we keep Christian Wood, keep him for the rest of the season, let him keep grinding and balling out? Hopefully he brings his stats to at least 20 and 10 by the season is over, and then maybe, move up in the draft, use Christian Wood as a trade piece come draft time, or, just hold on to Christian Wood for the remainder of his contract. Who really knows what's going to happen? But it's looking pretty clear right now. I know Kelly Iko came out with an article a couple of days ago saying unless the Rockets got some offer they couldn't refuse, Christian Wood most likely will be staying with the team. And that's really what it's beginning to look like. Christian looks like he's having a good time. What I liked last night was Christian had a horrible defensive play late in the game where they needed stops. They needed to keep their foot on the gas. And Christian Wood, I forget who it was, but he fouls somebody, they get an and one. You can tell he's frustrated, demands the ball next possession, and just goes right at Jared Allen. So I think it was Evan Mobley who got the and one. Yeah, I think it was Evan Mobley. So I like this new tenacity, Christian Wood. He was becoming kind of diva-esque 1 month ago, 6 weeks ago. Christian Wood was kind of acting like Anthony Davis without Anthony Davis's legacy, without that championship ring and everything Anthony Davis has done throughout the duration of his career. So, my opinion is starting to completely shift around Christian. The reason I was so adamant with trading him is when you combine all of the negatives, like he's 26. I know that's not really a negative, but when you just line up his age with our other rookies, with our rookies and our young players, and KP's only 21, like, when you line all that up, it doesn't make much sense. The next part was his play this year, up until recently, was just extremely inconsistent, so that was a big issue. And then finally, the last straw was him refusing to check into the basketball game. But like I said, we don't really know the whole situation, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt if he continues to give it his all on offense and defense. Yeah, every player has flaws. So yeah, his defense isn't great all the time, but I think one thing we need to see is, can Christian Wood and Alperen Sengun play together? Can they be a part of our future? Both of them. So I think that's something that we're going to see when the Rockets don't trade Christian Wood, unless you get a crazy-ass offer from a team like the Warriors, which I don't see that happening one bit. I think Golden State's really the only team that can offer us. They'd throw in like 2 of Kuminga, Wiseman, and Moody, and maybe even like a first-round pick if they were desperate. They're not desperate, though. They're doing just fine. So let me know what you guys think about Christian Wood down below in the comments section. Hit the like button, hit that sub button if you guys like daily Rockets content, and I'll see you guys later.